Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Vegas Badboyz of podcasting. I'm DJ Impact, and I got the Vegas Badboyz here with me. It's good to see you, fellas, and welcome to Three Count. And on this episode, we got three good topics here that was picked out by the Vegas Badboyz to discuss what they like or dislike about it. So we're going to get right into it, all right? Here's our first one. It's from Fightful.com. It's titled, Tony Khan says WCW would still exist if Ted Turner had his knowledge of wrestling. So it reads a little like this. Many people believe that AEW is the first real competition WWE has faced since the closure of World Champion Wrestling in March 2001. AEW shares a lot of similarities with WCW. Both were broadcast on TNT and TBS. Both featured Tony Schiavone as the voice of their promotion. And at one point in time, both utilized free agency in the world of wrestling to create excitement. But the one difference between WCW and AEW is who is at the helm of the promotion. And while Ted Turner loved professional wrestling and openly admitted that the triad of Atlanta Braves, the Andy Griffith Show, and NWA Wrestling, he would anchor the early days of his TBS Superstation. Ted Turner did not have interest in directly being involved with the creative process of his professional wrestling organization. In AEW, Tony Khan is where the buck stops. It has not been an easy ride, but Tony Khan openly admits that the more control he's taken over his promotion, the better the product has gotten. Now, ahead of his first night going head-to-head with major WWE brand, Tony Khan is saying that his knowledge of professional wrestling is the greatest asset, and if Ted Turner had the same knowledge, WCW would still be around today. Now, this is the exact quote that Tony Khan said. I've never met Ted Turner. It's very possible Ted Turner is smarter than me, but he didn't know 1% of what I know about professional wrestling, or WCW would still be on TNT, TBS. At AEW is here to stay. Watch AEW Rampage live tonight on TNT, or watch TNT app on your phone or any device. Matt Michaels, what's your take on this?
My take is, boy, Tony's got a long dick because he sucks it very, very constantly. It's amazing. Jesus. First off, I've never met Ted Turner, and he could very well be smarter than me. No, he is smarter than you. You are a rich little fuck. That's all you are, is daddy's little boy who wanted a little wrestling company because he wanted to hang out with the boys. So, yeah, Ted Turner, no, he ran the fucking network. In fact, he created the fucking network. So he might have been thinking about other things in his life other than how great of a fucking owner he was of a wrestling company. So come on, Tony Khan. You know what? You and WCW have a lot in common, including Sting. So, there you go. What a bullshit statement. This guy can fucking, you know what? If assholes could talk, they would sound like, yeah.
They would sound like him. Okay. Yeah. Now, Michael, your signal is dropping in out, but we got what you were saying. Let me jump over to you though, Simon Street. Tony Khan, man, I mean, Ted Turner has, I would say he's been pretty successful in most of his business ventures. What makes Tony Khan thinks that he's somehow just better at this pro wrestling thing than Ted was?
I think a lot of it is just kind of stirring the pot. I think he knows that he's not better than Ted Turner. Ted Turner has been in the game for the longest time, and the landscape in pro wrestling has changed. It's different, and I think that Tony Khan knows controversy speaks louder. than anything else. Yes. Now in the end, we don't know. Like Michael said, you know, he probably might just be the money mark. But at the end of the day, for right now, he's riding high. So right now, if he say he better than Ted Turner, then all right, brother, put your money where your mouth is, because that's what you've been doing. So keep putting that money in there. And eventually we'll see in about 10 years' time.
He's putting something else in his mouth.
Okay, yes, his long ass dick. We know.
Oh boy. Sin City Steve, it says in here, it has not been an easy ride, but Tony Khan openly admits that the more control he's taken over his promotion, the better the product has gotten. You agree with that statement?
Of course, I agree with that. I mean, you're just going to give me like the most T-ball type question out of everybody.
You know what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't exactly know if I would attribute that to his knowledge or not, though. Realistically speaking, I think that there were a lot of growing pains when AEW first started, and they had to react to things accordingly. As we talked about on this show, they had numerous faults and numerous problems with their product when they first started out. And over time, they've definitely gotten better. I don't know exactly how much I would chalk that up to Tony Khan being smarter than Ted Turner, which, newsflash, I highly doubt that. No offense to either person involved, but the fact of it is, go ahead.
I was going to say, so how much control did Tony Khan have of his company when he started compared to now? Because I just always thought he was in control.
And that's the thing is, there's not really any way to know unless you want to fabricate stories. The fact of it is that yes, they have gotten better over time. Now, whether that's because he's taken more of an approach and more of a hands-on approach with his product, then whatever. But to say that AEW is worse now, or even on the same level as they were when they first started, that would be delusional. They have come so far in the last 2 years that it's not even worth putting into words. Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm just, it just trips me out that he admits that the more control he's taken, it makes me think that he didn't have control as the business was starting off.
Well, let's be real. I mean, realistically speaking, yeah, when he first started out, for all we know, Matt Michaels loves to say it every chance he gets, Tony Khan's a money mark. So, okay, that's fine. If you're starting a brand new company and you have the financial backing, wouldn't you be more apt to turn to people that know, or that have experience in a particular field? Realistically speaking, that's what he did when he first started. Was there a lot more cooks were in the kitchen, and now over time things have kind of whittled themselves down so that he is, he has the final say so on very, very, on almost everything, actually.
Okay. So can we address though the absolute idiocy of this statement that he made, and that being for one reason: Ted Turner didn't book wrestling matches. This idiot says he's got more wrestling knowledge. Well, jackass, if your competition that you're putting yourself against actually just owned the company and it was his network it was put on because he enjoyed wrestling, then you wouldn't have to be shit. So therefore, yes, Tony Khan, you do know more about booking wrestling because Ted Turner never did it. He hired people to do it because, you know what? He's smarter than you.
But at the end of the day, and I keep saying it, and Michaels, you fall for the bait every time, brother. Tony Khan loves to fuck with people. He loves to stir the pot. And that's why I say he may not be a genius, but he's a genius. He is stirring the pot, brother. You biting that shit. You be sucking that shit up.
He is not fucking with people, and I'll tell you why he's not fucking. He is not, dude.
You think he's really serious?
Yes.
You think he's really serious?
100%. You do not come out and say that you're a smarter fucking booker of wrestling, controlling a company, than Ted Turner. You know what? It doesn't show he's a genius. It shows he's an idiot. You know who you say you're a better booker than? Vince McMahon. because Vince is the guy who's most comparative to Tony Khan. But you know who he says that he's smarter than in wrestling? Ted Turner, who, by the way, is like in declining health and has not been seen in public because he ain't got his shit together anymore. Tony Khan is smarter than that guy. So great. He's a genius.
Wow.
You're right.
All right, man. Let's jump
But as
right
long
in.
as you keep smiling with that toothless smile, everything good.
Oh my Lord.
Now, crime time dance.
Our second count is from CageSideSeats.com saying AEW is outselling WWE in New York by a wide margin. So Roman Reigns is coming to Raw. And this is how it goes. The war between WWE and AEW is heating up this Friday night, this past Friday night, which it did. And then it goes into that. I don't like AEW chances in that one at all, but there's a different battle of the war where All Elite currently has a big advantage over WWE. The UBS Arena in Long Island, New York, will be home to an upcoming episode of Raw as well as Dynamite within 10 days of each other, around late November, early December. And WrestleTix has provided updated ticket numbers to both events as of Tuesday night. And the difference in tickets sold between the two promotions is staggering. So just to give you what that is for folks who may not have access to that, it shows for the arena for Raw, November 29th, that the available tickets right now is 4,397. And they've only sold 2,837. So 39% of those tickets has only been distributed. For AEW on December 8th, available tickets are 2,163. All right. And they sold 7,536, which 78% of their tickets have been distributed. Okay. So that says a lot right there. And then it says, in response to the slow ticket sales, WWE began advertising Roman Reigns for the Raw event. And Reigns is supposed to be locked into the SmackDown roster as of October 22nd. But WWE has previously established several ways for wrestlers to get around the roster rules set by WWE Draft. Perhaps it's more likely that Roman won't appear on television and is simply there for a dark match for the live audience. The UBS Arena is a brand new venue, so it looks alarming that WWE is doing so poorly with ticket sales right now. So let's go right over to you, Sin City. It looked like we lost Michaels again, but we can still go without him. Sin City, what was your take on this?
So I think that, it is definitely telling. It's a brand new venue. The shows are less than 2 weeks apart. And as of right now, WWE Raw, which actually is on November 29th, has sold under 3,000 tickets of a total of 7,234. So if you look at the next thing that I'm going to say, AEW, they have sold 7,536 out of 9,699. So they have sold more tickets already for a show that airs on December 8th after Raw than WWE. And it's very, very alarming because they have sold more tickets than what the capacity will be for WWE.
Yeah.
So WWE's total capacity in that building, they're planning for 7,234 people.
So
if it's at max capacity.
So what can one take from that? What can one take that maybe in what Long Island is that they maybe don't like? Maybe it's not a huge WWE town.
No, well, I didn't want to go that far, but realistically, the thing that stands out is if we go by ticket sales, right, then the ticket to AEW Dynamite is a hotter ticket than WWE Raw at this very moment in time. Mm-hmm. According to this one venue,
right,
which just so happens to be on Long Island, right in WWE's backyard, an area that they have sold out since the beginning.
Right.
I mean, Stamford, Connecticut, is a pretty short drive from Long Island.
Right.
So it's one of those things that, yeah, they planted the flag in WWE's backyard.
Yeah. Let me go over to you, Matt Michaels. I mean, is things getting so bad, at least in that Northeast area, that we got to bring Roman Reigns out to save the show? Or, or is what's changing? Well, why are the fans totally going AEW there and not WWE?
Because New York fans are smart marks. They like to fucking, oh, don't give me that smirk. You know it's true. They shit on everything WWF. It's always like that out there. The bigger thing is, Steve, one factor that you didn't bring up is who's buying the tickets? Is it fans or is it secondary market?
These are from the venue. So this is not secondary market. Secondary market.
What I'm saying though is, are the people who are buying the tickets, is it the secondary market sellers? So in essence, you could sell fucking 10,000 tickets, but you could have 5,000 people show up because of the fact that those guys are smart into what's potentially a hotter ticket. So I don't put too much into like on the sales. I also do not put it past Tony Khan to be buying tickets.
So that's your conspiracy theory that the reason why AEW is beating WWE is that Tony Khan himself is buying the tickets.
Very possible. Very possible.
Okay. All right. I would love to chat with you offline, Mr. Michaels, because I have quite a few conspiracy theories that I would like to run by you, sir.
All right, let me before I go right to you, Simon Street, let me just read a couple of things John had said. First thing he said was ticket sales or total gate. What's the most important? Who's making the most money so far? Then he goes, one thing to consider, AEW tickets might be the hotter sale now because it's newer. You know what to expect at a WWE live event, but a lot of people have not attended an AEW live event. Let's see how this looks in another 2 or 3 years. Good points there, right there, John. Simon Street, what would you take from this, man? I mean, for some reason, there's a lot of seats available out there in Long Island for WWE, but it's selling out quite quickly over there with that AEW. What's your take on it?
Well, just generally speaking, between AEW and Monday Night Raw, two things stand out in my mind. Let's say if they came to Vegas and I had to choose within a week, Rampage, okay, or Dynamite, and then Raw or SmackDown. Surprisingly enough, I would go to an AEW event. 2 reasons. Number one, I ain't really never been to one. Number two, it's something new. Number three, and the most important for someone like me, is budget-wise. AEW tickets tend to be lower cost than AEW than WWE Raw and SmackDown.
So Simon, can I? I'm so glad you said those words because that's exactly what I was just looking at. Every single ticket for AEW that's available, looks straight through Ticketmaster, $35 or $45.
And that's what I was looking on StubHub between both of them, particularly with November 15th, Monday Night Raw. And that's also in what's Fieldhouse, Indianapolis. And then we also have AEW Rampage on the 12th of November, and that's in Minneapolis. And I looked at the lowest and the highest. The lowest for Rampage is $41. And then for Raw, we're looking at $60. And this is on the low end. If you want to take it all the way to the head, to the highest, we're talking about freaking $1,050 for, or let's do the Raw VIP packages, $840.
VIP packages. Don't do that. I looked at this.
You can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, I'll go up a little bit.
Exact venue. That Raw, exact venue versus AEW. AEW, same venue, $35, $45. The WWE has tickets in the up for $15. Okay.
Sure.
Then $35 is their next tier. Then it goes to 60. Then it goes to 100. If you want to be on the floor right now, which is, stuff that is not sold, this is available. it's $100 top price. So $45 versus $100, you take two people to AEW for one person to go to WWE.
And that's my whole reason to me, why I believe that WWE is struggling a little bit with some of their ticket sales. And I say that ignorantly because obviously different territories and different places in the United States operate different based on where you're at. But I've seen a trend to where there's more people that just want to have a good time. I mean, we're still in a pandemic, people still struggling. And if they could stretch a dollar, they're going to stretch a dollar. And unfortunately, WWE has not had a chance to kind of fluctuate their prices, at least enough to where it gets people excited enough. And again, we're talking about Raw. Raw, not all the times. When's the last time we went to a Raw? And you knew from the time you went in there, it was going to be the greatest show ever. Most of the time, we're kind of like, are we going to get what we paid for? And it's no diss to WWE. I know there's more to it, but I've been in that situation where I'm like, all right, I'm spending this money. I'm gonna kill even because I've been talking to Impact. Let's not get the expensive seats. Let's get the middle seats just in case Raw is a bomb.
Just remember that, right? At least right now, that Raw now is a little bit different after the draft. So if you've been watching the shows and you've not been feeling good about it, then there's a good possibility that after everything starts on the 22nd, I guess that's the date, that you may feel different, And
one thing that I just want to throw out, WrestleTix did send out a tweet actually earlier today saying, just noticed a major shift in pricing for the WWE event. In some cases, the prices have been cut in half. Previously, upper decks were $30. Some are now available for $15. So
they're trying to adjust.
They're trying to adjust their costs. So,
which is going to be very interesting because I'm going to tell you right now. I mean, if my son comes to me and says, "Hey, I want to go see a WWE event," right now would be a good time because WWE obviously is looking as that's part of the problem is pricing. So we'll see what the data looks like in the next.
But I don't know how true that is, though. Listen, they just sold out Ontario and they didn't do any price drops.
That's Ontario, though. I mean, that'd be hard to kind of compare Ontario to what's kind of going on stateside, though.
Yeah,
but what I get
that's the smart mark equivalent right there. Fucking Ontario, California, it ain't smart marks. It's people who fucking work for a living who don't sit around going, fucking if it's in the Tokyo Dome, then it's the greatest thing on fucking earth.
Facts on that one. All right. Let me not add extra commentary. I'm the host. Let's go to number 3. From WrestlingNewsCo.com. I got 2 titles here, but here's start with the first one. It goes, WWE star Top Dollar reacts after Max Caster's rap after AEW Dynamite. And it goes like this. Top Dollar has given his reaction to shots Max Caster took following Saturday's AEW Dynamite going off the air on TNT as the Acclaimed member made reference to the WWE star. Caster stated that he wanted to be AEW president Tony Khan as badly as AEW did to NXT in the ratings. He also took a dig at Top Dollar by noting that he raps better than the WWE star. And then the battle words between Top Dollar and the members of AEW roster all started when Top Dollar took a shot at wrestlers who claimed to be, quote, cool and hip, end quote. When they show off their sneakers on camera, which led to speculations, he was talking about the Young Bucks. And the former AEW Tag Team Champions responded to him with a message posted in their Twitter bio on Friday. And then Top Dollar released a diss track to react to that message. Now, let me jump over to the other one, also from WrestlingNews.co, that talks about that, where it says the exchange of words between WWE star Top Dollar and the Young Bucks continues. And then it talks about how it all started again. It says the Young Bucks then updated their Twitter bio to react to the shot by writing, quote, spent more on sneakers in September than the entire NXT roster did, end quote. Wow. Now, the Hit Row member has released a diss track during it, he brought up trending on social media, people who are 5'8", acting fake, people getting their sneakers in a twist, and much more. You can watch the entire video if you want to search that. Simon Street, I will tell you that first off, as a guy who loves hip hop, I am a person who loves when MCs can really freestyle and they can show that they have skills. Caster, I actually like a lot of the rhymes he comes up with. I have no issues with it. He seems like someone who writes it down and just memorize it and, says it perfectly on mic. Top Dollar, who I know absolutely nothing lyrically about, when he did this freestyle, I'm going to tell you, it opened up doors for me. I was like, this guy right here is the real deal. Because this didn't sound like something that was written and memorized. It would sound like something that came from here. And this is only from, I would say someone who have been around a lot of, I would say, we call them ciphers, who's been around a lot of that, who Top Dollar definitely has something there that I just never seen before. So when I heard it, I was like, wow. I mean, there was a lot of things he really came at then, the entire organization with, which I thought was dope. But what was your take when you saw these articles of all the stuff that took place this week?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, regardless if it's tangible or not tangible, the atmosphere right now with regards to WWE and AEW is the atmosphere is war, and with that being said, it's great because when you have something like this, you can take it as long as you need to. It's not directly on your show 100%, although Caster did spit lines on Saturday, shooting shots directly at Top Dollar, which I thought was cool. It's great because it's something that I think is good for the climate. It's good for wrestling. It gets people engaged. It gets people watching. Yes, some of it is more easily to be, looked at from a hip hop perspective if you're into hip hop. But Top Dollar was really, I'm really proud of him because at the end of the day, this is distinguishing him at the right time. Yeah. Because you now are on SmackDown. You're on the main roster, and your ability to be able to, basically shoot shots at your competition. And there was even something in that article as well, where even other people such as MVP on Raw says, who are you speaking to? And basically Top Dollar says, well, I don't want to mention any names about the competition. Just if you watch the product, you can see that they make fun of themselves, basically. That kind of stuff helps when you go into war. Now, it could go anywhere or it could just stay put on what he said. I thought it was cool. I felt like it was thinking outside of the box. Shout out to Caster for picking that up and going back and forth. And I hope that they do go back and forth more on social media, not so much on the show. And that's where I get scared because I don't want WWE to do a cipher. Please no, don't do a cipher. I don't want AEW and Tony Khan to allow them too much to showcase a whole fucking segment on there. I felt like they add the shot in what they was already doing because they was getting at Tony Khan, right? Sin City, they was getting at Tony Khan at that point. If they do it like that, it's fun, it's engaged, people can do it. I want to see more of this because, like I said, Top Dollar was dropping some bars. We know Caster, he could drop some bars, whether or not if it's on a freestyle or if he's just writing material. There's something there. I hope they pull the trigger.
And here's the thing. I mean, listen, if you're into hip hop, then this is something that you're going to love. If you're not into it, it's like whatever. It's just like a perfect example when you have on SmackDown, you got Rick Booz that come with that guitar. Mm-hmm. When you hear that guitar, McAfee loses it. You hear this past week, he was like, man, do you hear the sound on that? Do you hear that electric guitar? Now, myself, I mean, I hear it, but I'm not a fan of, listening to a lot of electric guitar rock. I don't listen to it. I don't mean I hate it, disrespect it or anything, but hip hop is something I do. So when I hear that, when I saw that, I was in. I was like, bam, loved every minute of it.
But let me add one thing real quick about Top Dollar and I'll pass it on. The one cool thing I do like about Top Dollar is that out of all of the members of Hit Row, He's the one that when he was in NXT, I kind of looked at him and I was like, man, dude's a big dude, but what do you have more to offer? In ring, he ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? He ain't that bad.
Right.
In his persona that he's building of himself, putting that out there, if WWE does pull the trigger, we might see more things from Top Dollar in general, as him being separated from Hit Row or him having title opportunities, because the way that he's carrying himself, he basically gives two shits. And that right there is fire. And right now, like I said, the climate is war between AEW and WWE. You got the prime opportunity. Put Young Buck in the front like that, even though he did rap on the track, was a Young Buck track, by the way, if you listen to hip hop.
No doubt.
That would be cool. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sin City, man. When you got a chance, I don't know if you heard. I know you heard Casters. I don't know if you heard Top Dollar. But what was your take, man? Just overall, even if you didn't hear, you at least can read the lyrics. It was nice that he put the words along with the rhyme, so you can follow along with that as well. But what was your take when you saw this was kind of going back and forth between the two?
Honestly, what I took from it was that Top Dollar is a very, very smart businessman.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, like them, hate them, the Young Bucks, if they talk about you, if you make a reference to them and they talk back, yeah, you're going to get some sort of press, whether it's positive, negative, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he put himself over and got himself over even more. Why would, and no disrespect meant to AJ Francis. He's a very charismatic person, and he's grown by leaps and bounds in the ring. But the fact of the matter is, we would not be having this conversation if he would not have gone after the Young Bucks and if they would not have gone after him as well. So I think at the end of the day, what we're seeing is, more than anything, we're seeing a situation where when the tides roll in, all boats rise. And there is no such thing as negative press.
Absolutely. All right, Matt Michaels, I can see you going, I don't care. But you tell me, what was your take when you read up, or if you saw either of this that took place this week?
Yeah, I saw it, and I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I figured that.
I mean, honestly, it's just as stupid as Tony Khan saying that he's a smarter booker than fucking Ted Turner. It's just like, this is petty bullshit. First of all, you guys who like to use the word war, fuck off, man. War is a serious thing. This isn't war. This is fucking petulant high school fucking shit. It's not war. So let's stop using that term. That's fucked up. And that's a disrespect to the people who actually go for our military out to actually participate in war. They ain't spitting rhymes. They're fucking in a war. So
yeah, but nobody's using like that. You took that way too serious, man, Michael. I got to stop you there. That's way too serious. There's many phrases where people use the word war in wrestling for years. NXT has a goddamn thing called War Games. Is that now going to be disrespectful and a shot towards the men and women in the armed forces? I mean, it's just a word. We were just talking about a word, war, between two different brands. And the context is normally used if people say it is.
You're talking two different brands. They're not at war.
But people are saying it, regardless if it's the truth or not. We know it's not a war.
Shut the fuck up. Stop saying it, because it ain't a war, man. It's as simple as that. You want to talk about war games? Fine. That's a fucking scripted thing, okay? This is actually beef, right? You could have it beef. You have a problem. Fucking rumble in the fucking parking lot. That's fine, but it's not a fucking war, all right? It's as simple as that. Have a little fucking respect when you throw around war. This was something that came up a decade ago in the NBA, when NBA players were saying, oh yeah, well, it's like a war out there today, when our fucking troops were actually at war. So yeah, this is silly. This is bullshit. This is guys who are fucking just trying to get themselves over in the minds of fucking wrestling fans. That ain't a war. That's bullshit. I make more money because you stupid people watching this shit are paying for it. That's it. Genius businessman, as stated, very genius, all of them, genius businessmen, because of the fact that they got people so worked up that they're calling this shit war. And they're going to be paying a lot of fucking money to go out and buy the shit. And I'll tell you right now, I'll be first in line when that fucking album drops for the Hit Row Crew. Fuck yeah, man. I'll buy it because I support it, right? But it ain't a war. If AEW comes out with the fucking album, great. Maybe I'll buy it. But who's putting it out? We'll see. You can't tell me that those guys.
Well, you're gonna have to give Castor a little bit longer because it takes him a long time to write sentence by sentence. But it's okay. It eventually make its way out. Sorry, Sin City.
If he was on the other show, it'd be the other way around.
No, because listen. I told you I like Castor. Everything he spit out on every show to me, including the one where he got in trouble. Okay, even that was like okay. I like lyrically, it was cool. At the same time, all I see Castor is to me. This is him, and Tony Khan beat him in 3 weeks. Okay. Oh, here's one. Versus Top Dollar. Okay. This is what I see when I see him. So I like
here's
both,
the thing.
But I'm just saying.
Here's the thing, though. WWE was doing the same shit that Castor was doing. If anything, Castor should be more related to what we've seen rap battles between the Usos and the New Day. What was it, 4 or 5 years ago? I mean, Top Dollar is just on some another level shit as far as wrestlers are concerned. Would I put him up there with Cyphers of today? Fuck no. But I would say he's definitely up there on par with regards to what we've ever seen in wrestling. He's like what's the guy that plays the guitar? We ain't never seen nobody that play no electric guitar like that. He's on next level shit. And he's somebody professionally could be on some next level shit.
Well, one thing for sure, man, is that he definitely made a name because although I was familiar with Top Dollar and Hit Row, I didn't know much about, Top Dollar, to be honest with you. Swerve is the one I know most about. Okay. And B-Fab, I'm learning a little bit more. I'm seeing her wrestle a little bit more. I'm catching on her, but Top Dollar and the other guy, I forget his name, I don't know much about. So Top Dollar really stood out there to a point where I'm just being honest. I know his name now. It worked. Let's just put it out there. It worked. So
and all of this can just come down to one thing. There is only one person who has ever been the best rapper in the history of wrestling, and you can't see him.
All right, that's it for the show, guys. That's a good one.
All right.
He was the worst.
To be honest with you, I actually like Cena too. But
and next you're gonna tell us you next you're gonna tell us bring back Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
No, but you know what? Listen, I gotta end the show. But let me put it this way. Let me be honest with you. Because I've been to a lot of manias. And one day John Cena was on some hip hop radio station in the morning, and I just happened to be tuned in at the time. This is before Sirius and all that. He was just on. I'm like, oh, okay, shit, John Cena's on. And you know how you do in most radio stations. All right, man, we got to see if you can flow. Drop a beat on. And they played a beat. And John went more than 16 bars. And I was impressed. I was like, oh, shit. And it didn't sound written. It would just sound like he was just, again, coming. Like, I really, that's probably the one thing I loved about John Cena and when he was under that, with that gimmick, because I love hearing those things. He was like, he really did enjoy hip hop music. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
And he legitimately, the freestyle was freestyle.
Yeah. I know. You could tell. Yeah, you could tell. So, guys, this was fun. It's our 3 count tonight. And we thank everybody for hanging out. We're going to give our final thoughts for the week. And it's better always to kick it off than with our Simon Street. What do you want to tell the good people out there?
Well, I definitely want to talk about something, although Sin City Steve always commends all of our women and men that, serve in the military. But I want to bring something to the attention of a lot of people, people who have served in our armed forces when they get home. I think a lot of times we always look at them when they get deployed or when they're leaving. But when they get home, sometimes that transition isn't always a great one. And there's many things that they have encountered and dealt with that, unfortunately, that there's not enough services to help them. If ever you find yourself in the midst of somebody that you care about, friend or family, or just somebody who has served in our armed forces, sometimes the best thing to do is give a listen, kind of be there for them, because I think a lot of stuff that they have that's on their chest, they feel like they can't talk to nobody. And it's always important to show gratitude in that way. And I'll just leave it at that.
All right, man. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Sin City Steve, what do you want to tell the people?
Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. The chat was on and popping, so thank you guys. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all the stuff that you guys do. Again, special thank you to all of the brave men and women that serve on lands, both foreign and domestic. You enable us to do this show. You enable us to do everything that we do. So thank you for everything. And special shout out to our boy, the Storm and Mormon. We love you, brother. Also, repsports.com, reppsports.com. Go there for all of your pre-workout, weight loss, and general energy needs. Repsports.com. Use promo code Vegas at checkout and save yourself 15%.
All right. Thank you so much. Matt Michaels, what do you want to tell the people?
Hooters waitresses' shorts are not too short now.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. You know, it's all the information does not always have to be something that of importance. It could just be
hey, you're saying that is very important. It's on TikTok.
Oh,
I'm sorry, old man.
I just want to know, are Hooters wings a lot better than what they were last time I tasted them? Because they really weren't good.
Not as good as the breasts.
All right. So I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out with us tonight. And we will see you next time. We got a lot to talk about, my Lord. Let's just get out of here.